Toy here, and welcome back to Lit Carnivale. I'm a day late, but with plenty to share. Today, I want to talk about consumption versus participation. If you're tuning in from Substack, be sure to check out today's poll. 1. Some writers are readers, and some are not. I've had this debate many times. As a reading advocate, I'm always going to encourage others to read. Still, I recognize that motivation is important to the reality of why a writer might not read. In a recent author interview, I talked about reader burnout and how it's a real thing. So, as far as I can tell, there are 3 reasons why a writer might not be a reader. 1, some writers have no interest in reading. Why they decided to become a writer could range from experimental self expression or be something as simple as a possible way to make some more money. Regardless, their desire to write is no reflection on their habit of reading. It's not necessary for them. For these writers, other writers' words have no bearing. Their voice is the only voice in their head. At least that's what they believe. They are actively trying not to be influenced by someone else's words. They may or may not acknowledge that the voice of other creatives, such as filmmakers, TV writers, and producers, playwrights, video game developers, and more, are all in their heads, just taking up space. 2, the second reason why some writers may not be readers could have more to do with where, when, and how they learn to read. For many people, whether a reader or not, reading is not an enjoyable experience. This makes me sad, and it's one of the major reasons why I'm a reading advocate. Too many people have been made to feel that they have to read a certain way or only read certain things, or that they must somehow analyze and interpret written words in a particular way. It applies a social stigma to something that should be universal. It's also a contributing factor to why many people who can learn to read avoid it or only learn as much as they can to get by. This often leads to reluctant writers who find inspiration solely from alternative forms of storytelling, such as movies, TV, music, video games, and more. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it does develop creatives who are being influenced by adaptations without ever encountering the source material. 3, the final reason is my least favorite, and it's the one that I'm working to be not so judgmental about. What does write what you know really mean? Does this mean you have to participate in the action, or can you simply learn about something from other books? Can a writer write something they've never read simply because they saw it in a movie or a TV show or in a play? That's often the question with this last reason. Some writers don't think they need to read in order to write. Some even go so far as to say that consumption doesn't equal participation. That means they don't believe readers have an advantage over them simply because they've read something. Just because someone reads a romance doesn't mean they can write it. This type of writer has no interest in learning about structure, genre, or other writerly semantics. They believe that natural talent can and will always speak for itself. They write for their own self-gratification, which I actually admire. Unfortunately, natural talent successes are usually the luck of the draw. If or when these writers don't receive the feedback they desire, they never consider that their writing may have been a factor. Still, all of this is not the same as reader burnout, where we started at the beginning of this episode. Reader burnout is a state of mind and can sometimes be more. It's temporary, but that doesn't mean it can't last a long time. It's something that can happen to a writer or just readers in general. With reader burnout, there is a desire to read. There's just no motivation or energy. There's so much more to it than that, but that's all I'm going to say for today. I'll say for now that the desire to want to read is enough to make you a reader. And when the time is right, you'll find that book that makes you feel like home. Question: do you think consumption counts as write what you know? I'd love to know. I can't answer this for anyone but myself, and I refuse to consider publishing a memoir until I read a few first, and I'm glad I did. If you or someone you know is an author or aspiring writer interested in being featured in a podcast, please check my Be Featured links on social media to learn more. Until next time, stay safe, keep reading, and be blessed. Lit Carnivale Season 1, Episode 16, starring Toy Thomas, featuring no one else at this time. Topics discussed: write what you know, consumption versus participation, writers who read, writers who don't read. Produced by Toy Thomas in association with the Toy Box of Words and Lit Carnivale. Directed by Toinette Toy Thomas. Thanks again to the Lit Carnivale community at Substack, YouTube, and wherever you can hear this podcast. Your book fandom is here.